Vampire Vikings, are you kidding me? Dear friends and companions, the time has come. My new vampire book Berlin Bloodrise will be translated into English. The German ebook is already available on Amazon. If you want to support me, you're welcome to buy the book in German. Hours of work have gone into it, endless nights of correcting. Sometimes I lived like a vampire myself, working through the night, feeding only on liquid food and hitting the sack at sunrise. But now it's finished and I love the result. Berlin Bloodrise is by far the best book I've ever written. I say that about every book I write, and that's a good sign. It means that you get better with every book. Berlin Bloodrise is the third novel I've written alongside a few novellas and short stories. I thought the idea of bringing vampires into modern life was brilliant. It works quite well for films and shows. In books, readers they tend to vampire stories in the past or in fantasy worlds. Let's see if I can change that. I loved the Blade movies and the series, and I think the idea of a vampire or a half-vampire that is hunting down his own kind is brilliant. This time the vampire hunter is a female vampire called Alina. Her family has been attacked by vampires and her brother has disappeared without a trace. Only a bloody sheet was proof of his disappearance. Alina's lured into a trap and faced with a choice: death or service to humanity. Out of fear of death and a desire for revenge, she decides to agree to the operation. She is transformed into a Daywalker in a genetic laboratory. Even though all three things still make her uncomfortable, she is immune to sun, silver and garlic. Her mission is now to take revenge on the man who wants to turn Berlin and all of Central Europe into a world of blood. The man who may be connected to Alina's fate and that of her family. She is to meet, seduce and murder him. The head of a vampire house, the most powerful in all of Central Europe. Bardus Palladius. An old warlord from the Byzantine Empire, who is turned into a vampire by his Varangians during the Battle of Constantinople. Together with other houses, he plans the conquest of the world and the arrival of the Prophet of Blood. There will also be journeys to Spain and Norway, in the footsteps of the Old Northmen and Gothic warlords, all to find the three sacred artifacts of blood that will resurrect the dark prophet of vampires. The book has many dark and horrific scenes, but there are also lots of funny lines and humor. Of course, there is also romance and a love story in this story, but the main plot is action and suspense. There is also a lot of symbolic language to portray the world of vampires as a magical and seductive place. There is no classic good and evil in this story. Vampires and humans, they are by far beyond good and evil. Not all humans are good, and not all vampires are bad, are evil. They are just humans and vampires, and now let them fight. Let them fight each other, and may the better one win. More books are planned, one about the Great Vampire War, the nocturnal conquest of the world. I'll probably set the novel in the USA and maybe some parts of Europe. Then an action-packed novel about dark academia and battle royale. The story has already been started, set in Ireland and England. Then a book about the rebirth and the rise of the Prophet of Blood. My desire is to build an epic vampire universe with many stories, and producing all the music on my channel here is the first step in giving you an insight into the epicness of this world. I'm really looking forward to the finished translation, and I'm delighted that some of you have already asked for it. Guys, the world is oversaturated, but that's exactly why it needs good stories again. Exciting worlds, that's my goal, to achieve that. and we are on the right track. Thank you for watching and for your support. See you next time. An Amastra, straight out of the Vampverse Chronicles. Thank you. Das ist ein weißer Fussel, der macht mich ganz verrückt. Zug, bitte.